locked in straight away. Very strong mid laner for Xie, and again kind of playing towards that, hey, I'm going to bypass the lane phase, kind of just sit there and farm and look more at those team fights. Whereas for Adam, Strive hovering the rise here, looks like they're trying to get active out onto the map. I think the Jinx pickup though, super valuable here. And then maybe even securing like the Zhao here for Leyan, because I just feel like Leyan has definitely been not someone who struggles, but someone who relies on these early game carries and wants to try and have an impact in the early stages to get Rare Adam on the right track. So something along the lines of the Zhao would work out perfectly here, especially with the Hecarim band away. Zhao kind of rises in priority.
I don't know why I said Shuns Nidalee. I just saw Nidalee and everything went dark. I just assumed it was. I saw Nidalee ban. I assumed it was Shun on the other side. I just could not remember.
I mean,
but anyway,
look,
it's
you have
Leyan
the
still
connection.
plays.
Leyan, you know, the old IG, but Leyan is a pretty strong Nidalee player as well. You know, it's the IG crew. But there's the Zhao. Anyway, WE have to see what they wanted to respond with. You could go towards the Viego, which we see hovered. Volibear could also be a nice option, just in the ability to kind of set up a nice front line and set up for maybe potential dives, especially when you're looking at the more than likely chance the stay is going to end up taking the Aphelios here. Giving him something that can kind of play a bit aggressive in the early stages and maybe look for dives on the Jinx early, but doesn't really matter. We're going to get the Viego and we're going to get the Aphelios. So a lot of late game scaling set up for WE here. We'll have to see if they're going to be able to find the opportunity to kind of take a bit more of a peaceful early game and set up for that late game.
Looks like Rare Adam's saying, look, we're happy to give Cube something effective in the top side as they lock in that Gwen. And they're saying, look, we know that the most likely run of form right now is there's going to be bans from WE onto Strive. He's going to have a lot of his champions taken away from him. We already see the Victor and the Orianna. But Rare Adam are happy to take that trade. They're going to ban away top lane counters to Cube and give Cube a little bit of an easier time in this matchup.
Yeah, and I mean, you really want to get rid of the Jace. It's just such a strong match into the Gwen. Maybe we see something like the Kennen come across as well, because BiuBiu has been able to have some success on that in the past, but we'll have to see exactly what they decide to go with. There's the Rise taken away, and as I think, again, that's your best bet here in that mid lane matchup, is just continue to take away these counter picks and anything that could be potentially strong. Maybe we see something like the Zoe come in here as a ban as well, just to try and prevent that long range that could be set up for Rare Adam with the composition that they currently have.
Now we see where the last few bans are going to be going. I like the Akali ban again. Jace Akali, very good into the Gwen. The Rise, that global pressure. You want to try and get that away from the side of Rare Adam. And they're going to go with the Rakan as the last ban as well. So we're seeing less and less priority on things like the kiting style of the Thresh and such, and more against the hard engage. But with Rare Adam, you've got the choice of the Nautilus and the Leona. And we've seen Yuyanja do so many good things on this pick. I like that he's going for the Nautilus.
And it just provides the engage tool that Rare Adam were really missing, right? The ability to get that depth charge off, find the hook, set themselves up. So at least for Rare Adam, makes a lot of sense for them. WE going to try and take the more aggressive half of the matchup with the Leona hovered here. And I imagine them for BiuBiu, he's probably going to go back towards something like the Kennen or something along these lines. But I am kind of curious what he decides to go with in the end, because, I mean, honestly, for WE, this is very much a team fighting composition, and maybe you want to go towards some sort of super tank in the top side, or maybe you want to even go towards something like the Gnar, which just gets hovered here. So just trying to find something that can provide that front line and follow up engage with the Leona could work really well here.
Yeah, absolutely. And where they want to go is seeing Gnar creep back into the meta pretty much across the board, as finally does get locked in here for BiuBiu. And now Rare Adam got a round out their composition. And again, you know, I think Stripe's got a pretty decent champion pool to look towards. Things like the Syndra, hell, the LeBlanc could be a pretty decent setup as well. Having that Gwen in the top side also means they can lean towards the more AD options. They've got, you know, position here to make whatever change or whatever chance they want, and it is going to be the LeBlanc here for Stripe. Very powerful assassin there in the mid lane.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that I actually, you know, saw the Twisted Fate. Is something that we don't get a huge amount in the LPL. I thought maybe Strive would go for it, because certainly when it feels like, you know, playing up towards top side, trying to shut down Gnar could work really well. Trying to also help out this bot side of the map, get this Jinx an advantage, because basically the Jinx and the Aphelios, whoever gets that early advantage tends to take over the game. Jinx with a little bit of a favorable style there, just because she can usually crash force wave, get a cull, and use that cull to get that advantage that she's really seeking. But still kind of the same idea here for Strive, right? Play aggressive in this lane phase, try and play through this mid jungle, and use that pressure then to start roaming around the map. Whereas when you look across at WE, it's kind of all hands off. They're looking to scale into that later portion of the game. The only person that I'd really see trying to play aggressive will be BiuBiu in this top side. tend to go towards Hullbreaker Gnar, which is why we're seeing him come back into the meta, particularly his answers to these AP top laners like Gwen, where you can push in with that Hullbreaker, run Demolish, tear through structures, and start to snowball that matchup in your advantage.
Well, for WE, as you said, slow and steady wins the race. And for Adam, like you mentioned as well, just about getting in your face, trying to snowball that advantage and get that bot lane rolling. We'll see where they move and where they focus out on as the game does progress. But at the moment, it is going to be WE, as I said, already backs against the wall. They need the win today. They need to come out on top of this to even keep the idea of playoffs alive. And for Rare Adam, they want to keep this momentum going. They have not secured themselves in playoffs yet. They had a rough start. They went 1-5 at the start of the split. They're now up to 5-5. They want to try and keep pushing as far up that ladder as possible, because in playoffs, positioning is everything. The less games you have to play, the more prepared you are as we jump onto the rift for game 1 of this best of 3.
I think for Rare Adam as well, just the ability to, you know, put distance between, well, WE, there's already a lot of distance there, but like with their upcoming schedule, right? Try and keep this pace so you're putting distance between OMG, who are, you know, in 10th, just beneath you, looking towards teams like Ultra Prime that are at 11th, just beneath you. Trying to put that distance between those teams is going to be a nice little sigh of relief for these guys. But it does start here today against WE, and honestly, I like what Rare Adam have, right? You've got super strong frontline in the Gwen and the Zhao, the ability to, you know, play early map with Strive. iBoy as well. I was actually having this discussion a little while ago. I personally feel like, obviously Jinx, seen a lot in the meta. The best counter to Jinx is actually the MC Hammer frontline that Rare Adam are running, right? Because it makes it really difficult for Jinx to get these resets and fights, for her to actually kind of set up as the big auto attacker that she is, and she doesn't really have the tools to go into the zone or the bubble that Cube and Leyan are able to offer. So she has to play back. You end up nullifying a huge amount of her damage. So Rare Adam kind of taking and opting into a lot of pressure for iBoy, where he should be able to free fire quite a lot in these team fights.
Yeah, absolutely. And excuse me, I seem to have a frog in my throat today. It doesn't seem to be going away anytime soon, despite the herbal tea I made myself. What's the point, Dagda? What's the point?
Was it honey lemon ginger?
It was a honey lemon ginger, specifically Manuka honey. Ooh, so, you know, got that
fancy, are we?
I mean, I'll be totally honest and say that every time I go to buy my one purchase of Manuka honey a year, I gasp at the amount of money I have to put into a jar of honey. But you're going to see now, level 2 is being hit in the bot side. They get the traps down. There's going to be Kedaya with the aftershock, keeping himself alive, so will not lose his summoners, but did lose the stays as the heal had to be burned.
Yep, just got to start to keep themselves in check here, and already kind of going a little bit awry for this bot side of the map. And that's not what you really want to see, especially, you know, Yanj and iBoy can continue to put pressure onto this bot side, and again, like, controlling the wave, setting up themselves for that quick reset, so then they can get the pull, move it back into bot side, and already Shie. Oh, no!
The old versus the new. Out goes the old and in comes the new. Great little kill there in the mid lane here from Strive.
And I mean, look, Shie, it hasn't been working out too hot for you. Now Strive getting that solo kill at level 3 in the mid lane as well. Look at the items that Strive has picked up. He basically got every starting item you can imagine. And now going to be able to move back in. Like, this is such a strong.
Yes.
Exactly, yeah. And I mean, it just means that it's going to be so much stronger in this mid lane as well. I mean, Strive not even running the ignite. Like, this is just TP, and with the with the electrocute, able to just chase him down. I mean, really nice stuff from Strive, but big mistake from Shie.
Yeah, it is a big mistake, and we might see another one here as View's gonna get locked up here with the ethereal chains. He's down again. Oh, it's a disaster, and they're gonna try and keep him going with the support here for WE, but all of a sudden, RA are here to the races. WE, you need to wake up, man. It's time to play.
We haven't even got people on level 3, and there's 1,000 gold lead. Like, Rare Adam are taking over. Bot side in their favor. There you can see the reset for the cull. And now as well, looking at LeBlanc, who's just going to be able to... maybe get onto Shie. But, like, even that topside matchup, right? BiuBiu taking a ton of her from Cube. In the early stages, you can tend to just farm as BiuBiu and not try and go for these aggressive trades. But Cube has been doing a really good job of getting into his face and just Jesus, she.
I mean, this is the thing. Yes, you are totally fine in that Gnar matchup, but when your lanes are going down, specifically in mid like this, it puts a little bit of an unseen pressure on you. You now need to make a move. You now need to try and say, look, we need to salvage something. Maybe we look top. Maybe look, and that's where the problem is when you get put behind. Is that these safer, I'm not going to say safe in total, but these definitely safer lanes can end up being a little bit more tenuous, a little bit more stressful because you have to make a play. You can't just sit there and go, well, I'm going to go even, because if you go even, that's not good enough anymore.
And again, like as you say, you've got so much now wiggle room as Rare Adam to kind of just do what you want on the map. They are going to start to turn over towards these dragons, which I do like. I much prefer teams that kind of set up objectives early like these dragons when they get these leads, because it just has this nice compounding snowball effect, right? It gives you a very easy way to set up fights, to draw the opponents into conditions that they don't really want to fight for. And especially when you're looking at, you know, the late game scaling that we talked about on WE, ramping up this game with the early dragons are going to be great. I mean, they literally take it 30 seconds after it spawns. Now you're looking at the potential for them to very quickly get a dragon soul onto the map and make WE even more uncomfortable than they already are.
Again, the Mountain Drake is, as a single Drake, a very nice Drake in the early stages as well. Those extra little bit of resistances make you even harder to kill when the little bit of damage is very much needed. And honestly, I do want to have a little bit of a gushing session right now for Strive in this mid lane. Came in from the LDL last year, very much a hot prospect, and has really just been finding his own feet, pushing himself forward, and honestly, in my opinion, has been one of the best, you know, from LDL to LPL transitions we've seen in a very, very long time.
I mean, honestly, a lot of our prospects coming up from LDL have been insane. You look at, like, Photic as well, who has now popped the hell off. You've got Shanji as well, that was doing really well for a while. A little bit hit or miss, I will say, for Shanji, but I agree with you. I think Strive has been wonderful, and even in the games where Rare Adam are struggling, sometimes Strive has struggled as well, but most of the time Strive is still having a good game and trying his damnedest to carry this team across the line, so you gotta give it to him. This guy's been great, and now once more 2 kills in this mid lane, 2 stacks on that Dark Seal. It feels like Strive is set up for success again. Like, the 1,000 gold lead that we see in this game is on that mid lane.
Yeah, it's just that, and Shie is getting further and further. She hasn't even gotten himself up to 30 CS right now. We're at 7 minutes in the game, and on a Corki of all things, one of the safest things to farm with. He's 2 levels down. He's going to go almost deleted in that mid lane. This is unplayable at this point. They have to change something up. Honestly, I wouldn't even be surprised to see a Gnar lane swap, because this is brutal.
I didn't even know Strive could do that much damage right now. That was insane. Kedaya here just to try and stop the all-in. But again now, Kedaya is going to end up splitting the CS with Shie, so he's going to fall behind in experience. Means that he's going to be even more delayed on this level 6 as well. Like, I didn't even know you could do that much damage with the LeBlanc right now. I mean, if Strive, I think, just barely miscalculating his damage, instead of that Terror for one more auto attack, that Shie was dead.
Yeah, 100% dead. I think maybe he thought the burn from the Corrupting Pot would be able to do enough, but oh, lordy, 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 that was close, and it's just going to get even worse. Like we mentioned, it's a 1,000 gold lead. This LeBlanc, we talked about how the WE needed to, not even needed to, wanted to just be able to just relax, take their time, don't worry about it, and now we're seeing a very different situation where Rare Adam are saying, no, you don't get to sit on your laurels. You don't get to have a moment of respite. You have to come and fight us, because otherwise we're just going to run away. We're going to waterfall this game out of control.
And the entirety of WE are trying to shut down Strive now. Like, 3 members in this mid lane. There's a 2-level advantage for Strive in that mid lane already. That is absolutely insane, and Shie just has 0 control. Strive gets to do what he wants, and WE, I think this may be the worst idea to go for this, because you don't have bot push. You've already got Rare Adam where they're moving up, and I mean, Strive at any point in time can pretty much one-shot most of your team.
Yeah, I mean, we see Stay, though, swapping over to the red and white, so he wants to fight. He's going to get jumped on straight away, and then about half HP, loses his heal, because he knew the Super Mega Det Rocket was coming. WE will get themselves the Rift Herald and get themselves out, but like you said, it's the opportunity cost. They had to expend so much, and they may have just overextended as they try and get in. Strife with the extra little bit of range on the Ethereal Chain picks up a bounty kill. Say a bounty kill, a payment, a tax, if you will, for the side of WE having to go for that Rift Herald.
And now Rare Adam get to extend a bunch of vision control into this bottom side. No camps for Leyan to try and take, but still gives a lot more safety to iBoy and Yanja to continue to push in this bot side. And Just unfortunate for Rare Adam, a little bit slow on moving into River, not wanting to fully commit with Leyan, so they don't actually get a chance to contest the Riptail. But maybe this gives WE somewhere they can get some gold back. But I mean, your top side has 0 control, your bot side is 0 control, mid has no control. It makes it kind of hard to get good moments to use this Riptail.
This is where WE, I will say you do have the Rift Heralds. If you are able to get an overload in one of these side lanes, maybe get a, you know, a 3v2 situation, get a kill, and oh my God. I mean, he takes more damage from the tower than he does the trade back. That's how confident Strive is right now. He's going so far in the tower, he takes 3 shots, and then just knows, like, it doesn't matter. You're not going to be able to kill me.
And Shia just has to reset. Now, it's not too bad he does have the TP to get back into lane, but honestly, I think at this stage, Shia, you just kind of take your losses and go, right, I'm going to, like, build birth threads or something like that, because you're not looking to fight at this stage. You're 1,500 gold behind. Just look instead to survive the lane.
Yeah, maybe get the Merc Treads, and honestly, a Hex Drinker wouldn't be a bad shout either. Just some kind of thing to stop him from being blown up. And again, against the Gwen and LeBlanc, it wouldn't be the worst of itemizations. It just means that the Corki will he'll need to scale a little bit longer.
So, Gia actually changed his mind. He was going to go up towards that Caulfield's Warhammer. Instead, goes back and does actually build the Negative Cloak. So I think he is going to start working up there. Looks a bit weird with the triple longsword, but he'd already bought 3 of those longswords. So it looks like he'll be going for a quick Hex Drinker there and just kind of realizing, look, I'm not going to be able to fight for a while. Just let me survive. Make sure I'm not giving over more kills. And just that I can stay in lane longer to actually pick up some of this farm. Because it literally every time, you know, the 25 seconds or whatever it is that LeBlanc ult is up, Drive is just going to look to chunk half his HP, if not more, every single time.
This is great for the bot lane of RA as well. As you see now, a little bit of a split screen, the Rift Herald being crashed in. So again, good moves here from WE. They're at least able to get some kind of gold back onto some carries. It will be treading the other side, but what I was saying there is that this is great for RA. You know, the Jinx you talked about gets that little bit of an early advantage and then just picks up a Cole, comes back, is able to stack that up for free. iBoy's basically been PvE. He hasn't really had to do a lot, and that's perfect for a Jinx that wants to try and get up to that first item, who wants to try and get as much gold and power into them as possible before that early game trough kind of really hits them.
And we're also starting to see the difference between what happens because we're looking at Gnar getting all this gold, what happens between an LPL versus an LEC top lane. LEC end up picking up a huge amount of the hull breakers in the early stages. LCS has been on it as well, but it feels like we end up getting this kind of thought process in the LPL a lot, where it's like teams going, hey, look, is this going to be strong in a patch or two's time? No, okay, we're not even going to attempt practicing with it because it doesn't matter. We're looking at internationals, we're looking forward towards playoff, so we're not going to give time towards a hull breaker strat. And now we're seeing BiuBiu working up towards the Divine Sunder. He's not going to go towards Hullbreaker, which, don't get me wrong, on the current patch and the current iteration, would 100% destroy Cube in the side lane. But it's something that we see a lot in the LPL. There's just not a huge amount of people going for it.
No, they do not go for it that very often, as we do see there the Heartbreaker from View. He gets himself out with the flash as well. Kedaya around the corner, so they have to be very careful with that. Cube should be able to skip and snip himself over the side, so nothing ventured, nothing gained, but RA still putting on the pressure. And we are 13. We still have plates to be taken here for RA. Stay. He might not want to stay here. He's going to have to flash himself away. Yuyanja says, I do not care how far you go. I will follow you to the depths of the earth. And iBoy picks himself up a kill. Very nicely done, as now we can see the BiuBiu teleporting down towards that bot side. But you're all alone, my little friend. You need to get yourself out of here. And you can see right now it's a little bit of desperation from WE. They know they need to try and find something now, or it's just going to snowball away from them. And all this time being committed bot means that Cube gets free reign top.
And you said it right, because we still had plates up, means you still can't TP to any of these wards. So BiuBiu TPs to the tower, he's out of position, not really able to get into the spot that he wants to cut off Rare Adam. So now you invest that TP bot, BiuBiu's losing farm, he's losing turret plates, he's losing everything, and you gain nothing as WE. The kill even goes across to Rare Adam, and it's just going from bad to worse here for WE. Again, they just don't seem to be able to figure out how they want to try and play this early game.
Well, that was the ultimate from the iBoy, but this is just Yuyanja just with really, really good timing. Saw him on the ward and says, cool, once I know you're fully committed, you have to expend everything or you're dead. And even if you do expend everything, you're still dead.
Yeah, I mean, right now you can see a huge amount of damage coming out from this Nautilus. Like, in these early stages, that Nautilus will hurt, and all you need is the zap and that ultimate just to finish him off there for iBoy. And again, WE unable to try and contest despite the fact they invested resources to it. Now, top tower, does have that minion wave crashing, but WE are trying to establish vision up towards this Rift Tower, which is just about to spawn. But I think for WE, taking this fight is insanely risky right now. You've got Gale Force completed for iBoy, Strive has his Ludens completed as well. Like basically mythics across the board here for Rare Adam. Whereas when you look across, you know, Stay still waiting for his mythic to be done. You've barely got the Manamune completed for Shie. He's super far behind. I don't know if you want to fully contest this.
This is the thing, you're getting bot lane pressure as well, but like, yes, you're going for this, but I will say you do have the package onto the Corki, so they do have a little bit of extra power in that. Looks like RA are saying, look, we just don't want to fight that. We're happy to let this one go, but you have to fight a dragon in 50 seconds, and BiuBiu might just be walking straight into a trap. He'll hop and just about keep himself alive. Now he actually, why did he go back? Why would you go back to that, BiuBiu? There's no real reason. You know there's someone there. You know they're probably setting up for something. It will be the top tower traded back, but you're already onto Soul Point. We're not even 16 minutes into the game yet.
But the problem with contesting for the Rift Tower, as you said, like, there's a couple of different things that you have to look at that equation. One, BiuBiu had to be positioned with Rare Adam up towards this Rift Tower, which meant that he wasn't in a position to defend the bot push. So Cube gets tower, you also lose a bunch of CS and experience there. You will end up with being able to take that top tower, but now again, Rare Adam get position on mid, so they're able to take mid turret, and now they're falling back over towards this dragon. Like, there was a huge amount invested by WE for that Rift Herald, and this was a conversation we saw actually as Strive was about to kill BiuBiu.
Oh, Strive, that was so nice. Just walking a literal pixel away from the stun twice in a row. He dodges the CC coming out from BiuBiu, and that means there's no contest on this dragon. We're going to be looking at probably a 21-minute soul here for Rare Adam. They're going to be able to get this so damn quick, and you're going to have to try and make something work. I like this from WE, but again, it's desperation. It is still a Gwen. You've got to be so careful. The Kip and Skip and Snip, they're going to try and put him inside the mist. I couldn't remember the word for it, but they will pick themselves up a kill. Nicely done there, but then they will get themselves onto the board in that regard, but you're already so far behind. You're 3,000 gold and 3 dragons. It's just becoming harder and harder. And yes, it's a good respite, but is it enough?
And this is why I want to bring back the conversation of this Rift Tower, right? You can already see Rare Adam moving up, should be able to defend this. You don't actually get the tower. In these situations, and it's a conversation we had when Rift Herald started, it's more of a win-more scenario with the Rift Herald. And WE definitely aren't winning as Drive now looking to head them off.
Yeah, he TP'd in onto the backside of this, will land the ethereal chain. They'll try and go in on top of him. The stun will come out as View is trying to escort the rest of his team out. The side of WE will get out with no casualties, and now WE, can they make something work? They are getting some decent free time here in bot and in mid, so, you know, they've got the objective bounties. They could bring back this gold, and like I said, it's silver linings at this point.
Yeah, I mean, it's a dark day for WE. Those silver linings. Not exactly looking very strong as Stay's about to go down.
Oh dear, yeah, he's dead. Nothing else to happen from that. Strive will get himself the double distort and get himself out of there, so you kind of try and figure out where you want to go on this side of the map. BiuBiu will be able to crash his wave into the turret, but the Gwen is around to the side, so I don't know if actually, never mind, Cube's just saying, look, this Shelly is far more important, and I feel like this tower is not really going to be the bigger objective come the longer side of this team.
Yeah, I mean, I personally feel like maybe this was a bit of a mistake from... Oh, hang on. He's going to get him?
I don't think so. Oh, maybe
Strive
he will.
Is here.
Yeah, Strive is here, but Kedaya is as well. There's a lot of CC alongside that Viego, so you don't want to try and mess with that. I like the temperament here from RA. I like the idea of it, but they recognize wasn't for them.
Yeah, I think, though, like, coming back to it, that it was a bit of a mistake from the build path from BiuBiu. I feel like with the position that WE are, still building for team fights may not have been the best idea. I actually think you just try and go full split push. And actually, maybe that's what we're seeing now from BiuBiu with this. I thought it was going to be maybe him going for like a force of nature or something. But he's actually going towards the wit's end. So looks like BiuBiu is actually going to go just straight up split push. He's just like, look, the only way that we actually win this game right now is WE is maybe getting advantages onto BiuBiu where he can try and go against Cube, but even that's looking a little bit risky with just how little control WE have on it.
Yeah, I think you know, if RA are able to play this game out like we expect them to play it out, this should be a pretty easy win. You're already on the 2 items onto your Jinx, 4-0-0 mid laner. The LeBlanc is massive, and for RA, it is just about dotting your I's and crossing your T's. Don't allow WE to scale. That scaling you mentioned earlier on when we looked at the compositions. If this game does go very late, you do have an awful lot more options and leeway for WE, but for Rare Adam, you're already on the soul point in less than 2 minutes. You're going to be getting there towards 21 minutes. The 21-minute mark, and you're looking at a Hexal. That power is absurd to try and deal with, and for me, it's just going to be like WE, you got to throw the Hail Mary at that point. You cannot let this dragon go, because if you do, the game's over regardless.
I don't even know if you get the Hail Mary opportunity, though. Like, look at the vision control that's established for Rare Adam on both sides of the map. Like, they've got deep vision on bot side. They're establishing deep vision on top side for the Baron that's about to come up. You don't actually get a chance to go and push in against Rare Adam ever. So for Rare Adam now, they kind of get to go, okay, well, we have a minute towards Dragon, we'll reset. If WE try and invest too much onto the bottom side, we'll just go up towards Baron. If you don't actually clear out into this division that Rare Adam have established, WE, they're just gone.
Oh my god, Viu already down to half HP. He should have enough time to reset should he want it. I think he has 2 stacks of his smite anyway, so should be able to sustain up. But again, anyone walks up, there's just going to be so much damage being thrown down straight away. I will say, we talked about Xie going maybe towards the Merc Treads or the Hex Drinker. Gone with neither, was given a little bit of free space and was able to get himself up to his first item, so has the Mana Mune. He still has that Null Magic Mantle sitting in his inventory, so is having a little bit of extra effectiveness there. But now with the package, 27 seconds here, he does have a teleport, and you can see now he's going to be answered to by Q. This is where the damage can really come out. They're going to try and maybe look for some more poke, more damage coming out from this Jinx. Again, that rapid fire poke coming out, and the safety of the Gale Force means that the side of Rare Adam needing to be very, very prominent where they put that one there. We can already see the flash being burned by Kedaya. And now it's Xie coming into the mid lane. Can he make use of this package? We're going to start resetting. iBoy will not get fully clipped by the Solar Flare, will not lose anything anyway. So WE, now you have the package and you have the Mega Gnar form, but I think RA can just wait.
Yeah, they don't need to rush this, right? WE moving in towards River Stride.
Oh. I think he's dead. I think he's going to be, going down. Yes, they did use the ultimate from the LeBlanc, but here comes the real fight. They're going to be able to use the package to try and separate these teams, but look at the Gwen just putting out work and putting in damage. They're going to be able to take her down eventually, but we've already lost the Aphelios. The dragon, that wasn't even a fight around the dragon. That was a fight around positioning for this dragon, and now Rare Adam can try and look for this, but oh no, Strife. He's thinking about it. He's looking for it. They're going to try and maybe burn this one down. Viu in a lot of trouble and is taken out. Now they're going to try and turn back onto him. He will sacrifice his life, but it was a noble cause, and they finally get themselves the soul, and that's a 22-minute Hex soul here for Rare Adam. Yes, they lost a couple of kills, but they do not care.
Now they got the Hex Dragon. That's all they really were worried about. And honestly now, might actually run over towards this Baron. Saw the TP potential there, especially if you're still dead, but looks like instead you're just going to move over, try and steal away some of these camps, set Viu even further behind. And I mean, if you wanted a confident play from Rare Adam against the bottom team of the LPL, this game has certainly been that. We're just going to get the replay here. It's Drive. I mean, this guy has been a menace all game long. Goes in for the double distortion, pops back to his second one, just able to finish off Kedaya there. From that point forward, they're chasing them down once more, actually.
Keep going for them. They're not quite able to get the damage down, though. But again, more and more being burnt here. And the slows, the damage, everything's just overloading right now. They could look for a 23-minute Baron. And honestly, it wouldn't even be a bad call here from Rare Adam. They will get one of the Scryer's Blooms out. There's still another available. But the TP coming in here from Xie. Very difficult to defend this. You're looking at a 5-level difference between Kedaya on the Leona and Strive on the LeBlanc. He would literally be one-shot despite being considered a tanky member. Baron down to about half HP, but they don't want the Baron. They want the fight, and there it is. Kedaya goes down almost immediately. Double distortion, baits out all the CC, and WE, they're scratching at the door. They want to try and get out. They want to try and make something happen for them, but with Strive just playing in the backside of this fight so perfectly, Baron now taken down. RA are in total control. They are losing their top laner, but it does not matter, because where are you going to go, WE?
They're going the wrong way. They got nowhere to go. This game is over, Oshin. No matter what WE do, there's Strive in the way. LeBlanc has clones, and she seems to be everywhere. As WE will fall, Baron went the way of Rare Adam. There's just nothing that WE can do in this game.
This was a 100% statement smackdown. Already saying we are not a part of the bottom of the table. We are a playoff team, and they are playing like it. They still have to take the the nexus and finish off the game. But Rare Adam are just putting down a beat down on top of WE, and right now it just feels like WE are just trying to fight at everything because they know if the further they wait, the longer they fall down this hole. So I don't have a problem with them at least going for this because they're just too far anyway. They have to go for something.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand that WE need to try and contest. It's just like this fight isn't the problem. It's everything else that's happened before this, right? Like, this game has been over since GA basically getting out 1v1'd in the mid lane by Strive. The early fights going the way of Rare Adam as well, and unfortunately for WE, yes, they got 2 Rift Heralds, but they haven't really managed to do particularly much with it. Now Rare Adam pushing in this bottom side. We'll say iBoy a little bit far from the party, so maybe Rare Adam want to take a step back and just wait for both Cube and iBoy to think.
We get the Baron buff. We'll have BiuBiu going mega very, very shortly. Doesn't have flash, but could get himself a nice Gnar into a wall. But again, you don't have to overextend here as a side of Rare Adam. You're about 9,000 gold ahead, nearly 10k. You've got yourselves a Hex Soul that's worth about 4,000 gold in stats, and 3 items now onto Strive. He's got himself a Medjai's Soul Stealer, and he's just going to be need scaling even more and more. So even the scaling aspect of the game is not really there. I will say you are at 2.5 or 2.5 half items here for the Corki, so the wave clear isn't terrible with those rockets and of course the Gatling gun, but I just think you're just at a point now where you can't really do much here. You just haven't got the damage available to you, and now we can see them pushing in towards that mid lane. They're going to try and take down the Gnar, and they will almost be able to do it. Yes, they will. Another skip and slip as we come back into the main spot fight in this bot lane, and yep, there's too much damage, there's too little resistance, and too much for you to have to try and deal with. You can see already iBoy feeling frisky, feeling excited as he pushes forward. They will be able to crack open the base in this bot side. And again, we're going over to game 2. Rare Adam dominant in their game 1 win. And it's just going to be about getting that last kill or 2, pad those stats maybe just a little bit. I will say that's a hell of a lot of damage from Shie, but it does not matter. It's still a Corki who's well far behind. And RA, game 1, demolish WB.
And this has been an exciting game for Rare Adam, right? This is what we wanted to see. This is what you expect from a team that we're now looking at in playoffs. How do they fare against teams that are at the bottom of the table? And this was a confident, very easily able to get advantages in the laning phase. I mean, the mid lane difference, astronomical this game. You're looking then at how they can try and play out the map. They're playing for dragons early, knowing that is their win condition and trying to play through the strong early game that they have, especially that mid jungle. And from that point forward, the team fighting looked good. The way that they played the map looked great. The vision control was outstanding. Like, this was a confident win from Rare Adam.
Yeah, I think confident, controlled. There's nothing more you could really ask for the team. As you said, we wanted to know if this team was a playoff-worthy team. We wanted to know whether or not they could separate themselves from the bottom of the pack and put themselves up towards being a top 10 team. That did it. If they can do that again, this is a clean 2-0, this would be a huge jump for them. And yes, it is against WE, bottom of the standings, but it is about getting those wins. You got to remember, it's not just about taking down the big teams. You have to take down the teams around you. Otherwise, you're not going to be at the same scoreline. And if they can take down the 2-0, 6-5, pretty healthy scoreline coming in with 5 games left.
Yeah, and especially as you kind of move on into the final weeks, these singular games can actually make a difference. So when you drop some that you really shouldn't have, it can make a massive difference. But Rare Adam, that was confident. Strive looking immaculate with the counter pick on the LeBlanc, absolutely destroying Shie. And I mean, Corki, it is still 12-2 for people that aren't sure. So Corki still hasn't been nerfed, still quite strong, but Strive just made sure that he didn't get a look.
And this is the scary thing. Like you said, the Corki's still quite strong. The Corki still put out a lot of damage, but Strive was playing on a LeBlanc who I would consider to be, especially on 12.4, a little bit more of a meta champion. Yes, it is definitely fringe. You have to pick it into certain situations, but does feel like it is something that can have a lot more potency as we go on to 12.4 tomorrow. But as you say, great win, great time here for the side of Rare Adam. And again, great moment for Rare Adam fans on all scales. You know, they're looking pretty good. They're looking pretty solid. We'll see if they can do it in game 2. We are going to set it to a quick break. And when we return, we'll see if WE can change anything or if Rare Adam will be taking a swift